Hey, welcome everybody. Sorry about being a little late there. We probably should have just waited. It was partially my fault as well. I was asking David to, I was like, we got to get you a mic, and he pulled out a mic. So he's had one this whole time. And I just wanted the sound to be better because now that we have the audio podcast as well, and it was just bad idea, bad timing, and we thought we could do something in a minute that would have taken even longer. But we do have David here with us. He is just doesn't have video, and the mic did not work yet. So, so welcome to my co-host David. He's the CEO of Para. If you guys aren't already familiar, well, wouldn't start there. But also today we are joined by Louis from Delivery TV. And if you don't know Louis, you will soon. You will hear in a little bit. Louis is I was familiar with Louis, and then when he came here for GigCon and the town hall, we really kind of got some real time of bonding. And I know he's on top of some of these issues like we are, like David and myself. And welcome, Louis. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here and with your audience. Woohoo! David's here.
I made it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to well, we'll talk about it after too. Something else failed there too. But I'll tell you later.
Really live. This is live. We're trying to get the best for the audience, and sometimes technology never help.
Hey guys, YouTube's free. So but again, you were gone for a second, David, but I was just welcoming Louis, and I was saying how when we met him in person, it was just easy bonding, kind of a lot of the same issues too. He cares a lot about the what's going on. And I know if you weren't here, you probably didn't feel the connection that a lot of us had, but there was just a whole good energy the whole time. And I don't and I don't know. It was great meeting. It was great seeing the passion behind you. I know that before we even go much farther, I want to mention it now and again at the end. You have an event coming up in November in Houston, correct?
We changed the date, and okay. I will share you the reason that, and it is a good reason. Okay. So and by the way, hello, Sarah. I'm reading you. How are you?
Yeah.
Thank you for the comment.
Hi, Traveler. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Scrabble.
So I went to the Corbivore in LA, and then I went to Denver, and I loved the event, the atmosphere, everything that was going on there. And I was thinking, well, I'm Hispanic, so we are a huge community and we don't have these types of event. We should have it. And then I thought, who is going to make those events? I have to do the events. I felt like I have to start this movement. I don't know. I felt the responsibility. You have to do it. You don't have to wait for other to do it. I thought this is
you didn't have it planned at all before the GigCon weekend?
No. I saw everything and I felt
inspired. Sweet. Awesome.
And so I start sharing the information with some partners and some friends, and I even mentioned something, I think, with David to you, and the response was huge. So I paid the venue, and then I thought this venue is too small. So I now I have to change the venue, but it's December, so that create a problem. So the event is going to be in May the 3rd next year. That is going to be the date. So that gives us time to prepare and to invite you all to come here to Houston, learn some word in Spanish. Hola, amigo, ¿cómo están? Something like that. Easy things. So you can come.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Come to Houston and enjoy the event.
Well, May 3rd is my birthday. So
we're gonna have a party with margaritas and Mexican food.
So if I can ask, because it was scheduled for early November, right?
Yes.
So it was going to be about 4 or 5 weeks out. What is the number that you decided this is too small?
Well, I thought maybe 100 guys are going to come.
So you had a venue that could potentially hold 90, 100 people.
Yeah, something like that. But it wasn't enough. So I started to receive messages, and some companies felt interest, and the some people even show me the plane tickets that they were going to buy, and everything started to grow, and it was too big and the venue was too small. So I decided to change it. I talked with the car companies, and in this venue we didn't have like a place to put cars, and that was another problem that we had. So in the end we decided to move it with more time. Geekfest, May the 3rd, Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I wait for you here.
So how big is this new venue?
600.
Wow.
We're planning that 600. That's the plan.
Wow.
Fill it up.
Wow.
Fill it up.
He's going huge, man. He's going big.
But I'm not alone. I have a friend who is a professional girl creating events, Nati, and she is on fire. She know how to do it. She know the drill.
Oh, you have a Houston event coordinator helping you.
Yes, I'm receiving a help, so I'm not alone, and we are a team. So
yeah, okay. Yeah. To those that don't know, I mean, I'm sure I see that 9 or 10 are in here now. I know we were late getting started again, guys. Sorry about that, but it's live streaming. But for those that don't know, Louis' channel is geared towards the Hispanic community, but it's not a small or even smaller or even just kind of big channel. In our niche space, his channel is a monster. I mean, I think like you're up, he's got over 60,000 subscribers. I've seen his lives. Subscribers don't always tell everything, but I've seen your lives. You have a lot of people in those lives. You've got over 200, 300. And so you've actually got a real community there that's big. And I know you're based out of Houston. I don't know if I'm sure they're everywhere because there's not a lot of Hispanic content channels like yours.
On YouTube, no.
Not in this space anyway.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, we have. I have some friends that they have the spaces, and we're growing on TikTok. We're every Thursday that I do the live streaming. I have like 200 or 300 people on YouTube and 300 people on TikTok. So it's like 600 people watching the live stream, and that is crazy. It is crazy. And we reached.
Yeah, I mean, I've even somehow I've gone into yours and I've been like, everybody's typing in Spanish here, and I've said, "Hey, Louis," and you've typed back, "Hey, Steve." Like somehow you catch that with 200 plus people watching. I'm like, oh wow, okay. I mean, like I don't know. I can, live chats can be hard to follow, but
we just reached 10 million views. That I'm so excited.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
But in the end, it's not me. It's the message. It's the information. That's the important. I'm not the star. The star is the message. The star is the information. People come to the space not to see me, but to learn.
Well,
learn not from me, but from other drivers. And I'm like center focus on that thought.
Yeah,
like,
you've got the charisma thing though, because your energy and stuff. When I watch it, so I mean, like your energy and not everybody could do it, as I guess what I'm saying.
Yo tengo el picante, amigo.
Also, I remember you were like one of the first people that when Tip Transparency was first starting to blow up, you were one of the first.
Yeah.
You were literally one of the first people to reach out being like, hey, like,
let's talk.
Let's talk, right? Come on, let's do a live stream, right? I remember that. Like, like before everyone else, like you were there already. I remember that.
It was crazy. People were calling me like, do you know about this app called Para? Do you know about this app called Para? And I was like, no, I don't. But if I'm going to talk about Para, I need to talk with the owner. I need to talk with the CEO. So who is it? I went to the website and I thought, this guy is never going to answer me. And he did. So thank you. Thank you. Like at the first, I don't know if I brought you via Twitter or email, but David answered.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you Facebook messaged me and then we emailed and we hopped on like that week. I remember that. That was great.
yeah, and I was happy because if you're gonna talk about something, for me it's important to be with the CEO, with the owner, not with the rumor. No, let's talk with the guy who managed the technology, and in this case was David, and he answered.
And somehow you also keep up the energy in both. I remember you're like enthusiastically interviewing me in English and then live translating it to Spanish. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. I invite Sergio from from the Riser guy a couple of days ago, and that was crazy. Like doing the and it never stopped. He was like, you know, he never stopped, and I was like, let me translate. It was interesting.
So I mean, look, we talk so many different things here. I try and make this around the person's channel usually, but often I haven't met the person in person. So I tried to tweak this out a little bit, but there's just some things we just can't overlook right now. We always talk about market to market differences here on this channel. Because a lot of newbies that come in too are like, well, why is this guy telling me this? I'm like, because that guy lives in a city of 5 million plus. You live in a city of 100,000. Your cost of living is a third of his. So big differences, like, I mean, there's just market to market can mean so many things, but I feel like I can say this soundly now. And David knows I talk with a ton of drivers all the time.
Sorry.
I mean, I have for years.
My baby just came here.
We have a visitor, guys.
Hello. Mommy. This is live. So
the best part about that was that it was your baby. And not some random baby walking through the set.
Do you see it? I don't see it. Do you see a baby? I don't see a baby. It's a ghost.
But on market to market, things always vary. Some people say summer slowdown. Some people say, I know people in Michigan who live in a summer market where 3-4 months of the year during the winter, it's closed. It's not slow, it's closed. So the summers are huge. But right now, market to market across the country, and don't worry, guys, we'll come on the upswing on this too, but pay is down. Everything's down. I don't know if you're seeing that as well. At least on the normal giant apps. I mean, pay is just down. Orders are down. There's a lot more onboarding. And I know part of the problem is oversaturation. The other part is customer pricing increases right now. And that has led to less orders. We've seen this. This is just delivery space I'm talking about. Rideshares has its own struggles as well. But are you hearing this just day in, day out from people? Because I'm hearing it more than ever. And I'm even seeing it, even here on YouTube, I'm seeing people way more upset. Content creators, even, not all of them, but those that wear their feelings on their sleeve are pretty open about, nope, they're not stoked right now. And this is, everybody kept saying, wait till September, wait till October. That's when it turns. And it's just not happening right now. Are you hearing this constantly?
Well, in my case, yes, it is like something that is growing. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the last interviews that I've been watching, like Dara Khosrowshahi and also Tony Shu and Spar Driver Executive, when they launch something that they mention is, this is a part-time activity. This is extra earnings. DoorDash launched a couple of weeks ago this new Spanish translation feature in the app, and for Hispanic people, for them to being able to translate, and that was great. But in the news that they launched in the script, they mentioned twice about this is a part-time, this is extra money, and you have to read between the lines, you know.
Oh,
The
yeah.
message they are sending is don't take this activity for full time. At least that is what I felt that they were like trying to convey. I don't know if you think the same, but definitely the earnings are going down. So I think we're reaching to this moment where you have to really diversify.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. You cannot, if you want to be in peace, you gotta have options.
Yeah. I mean, multi-apping's almost been I mean, if you're full-time, multi-apping's been a must for a while,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You know, maybe somebody in some market can say, no, I know one of our friends, Random Ryan, he pretty much just does Instacart. I can't believe it. He does it. It works for him. He's in Austin and he does very well. And I know a couple other people like that too, but they are such a small percentage of the actual, because there's 15% of the gig economy is full-time. 85% is 14 hours or less a week. So not only are they part-time, and then I can't remember what it is, like 65% is like 7 hours or less a week. So it is, I mean, we got to remember those 85 don't probably even ever come here to YouTube. It's a second job to them. They're just doing it for some weekend money, extra pay, paying off bills. But to those of us that do it full time, this is a hard time. But at the same time, I think it's a perfect chance and time for all kinds of things to launch. And I think we're seeing that. And I'm not just saying that in terms of Parapass, Paraworks, or like a delivered, but we're just seeing more and more things coming up that, I mean, David can even probably list, I mean, you know, you don't need to, but you could probably list 20 right now that are kind of like up and coming, because now is that time. All the platforms have got just trashed. They don't have as many orders. We always knew that the pandemic would come down for delivery. I mean, we did know that. I guess everybody just wrote it out so long, they just thought, well, no, this will just be the new norm. Well, I guess when you increase the price on what became the new norm during a global pandemic, it shouldn't be shocking to see the volume go down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I feel anyway. But I think the positive of this is it's an amazing time for new companies to start things, even if it's local area ones. Like, you know, I was thinking here, like, you know, better or fixed percentages, you know, like if you're going to start up a delivery company, make it a fixed percentage, make it very simple. You get 80, we get 20, like Uber back in the day. Or, you know, just don't have it be dynamic on every order. Don't have it be hidden. Work with transparency. I think that you have a lot of wins there, where I think that before the pandemic, had you tried that, you wouldn't have been able to fight and they would have put you out of business. But I think there's enough drivers and a big enough community to.
Yeah, I think where it
Go
comes
ahead,
to is just like, you know, keep it simple, pay people well, treat them with respect. I mean, we've been working with a number of partners through Parapass, right? And I think the ones that have actually done the best with drivers are local opportunities, smaller companies. So that doesn't mean they're necessarily a local company, but, you know, a smaller company that is transparent with what they're paying the driver, uh, that has like a live operations person, I guess is probably the best way to put it. So, you know, we've worked with companies where they have like a drip onboarding system and they're a little bit more complex. But what we've noticed is, you know, one of our partners are working with Fuda, like they're getting a ton of people signing up. And that's because they're doing, you know, local food catering. They treat people well. You know, you can actually talk to a human and those are doing well.
All the people in Chicago have hit me up lately because they've said, hey, food is on Parapass. I'm like, hey, I know. Like, you know, it's like, but they all do know about it. A lot of these Chicago people know about Fuda before Para. Like, it didn't have anything to do with Para. They actually, however they knew about it, but they weren't onboarded yet. Now they're onboarding through there, or they're trying to, or, you know, I don't know. I mean, like, I saw Necro and even the people that frequent these lives, like they all are saying the same thing. Yeah, I know Fuda. And I do, you know, so how long's Fuda been around? Why don't we know about it? Because it's probably regional, right? It's not everywhere.
No, they're regional, but they're pretty large. I don't know. They must be in 20 states or something like that at this point. So whatever, somewhere
But
between regional and national, basically.
is it the same presence that they have in Chicago though? Because it seems like the Chicago people know
Yeah. But I think they're
about
still,
it. So
it will fall off a cliff. Did that to me in 2018, says John. No, but I think all of them are sort of like, we're just seeing more and more of these, right? So Fuda's doing well. You're starting to see Delivered do well. But I sort of agreed with what John is saying here, right? Diversify, find ones that are well, and sort of add them to your repertoire. Right, I was talking to our sort of old friend Bud Soda today, and it's the same thing. I think he's gone really full in on working with Food Fetched, which is doing catering delivery in upstate New York, and that's
yep,
great. But he's also still working for other apps. I'm not saying it
of
should
course
be
he
that
is.
way, but it's not
Yeah,
like you're working all of the apps all the time. But I think that is just the current way you have to play the game to some extent. Is you just need to have options, and you need to, hopefully stack some better options in your hand, basically.
yeah.
And also,
I know an auto mechanic. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go, Steve.
Oh no, go ahead.
And also being open to do different things. Not you don't have to like do delivery, but we have also different platforms. Tomorrow I am going to launch on my channel a video about Walk. That is this app that you can walk dogs. I wanted to do something different, but for example, you receive orders to
Yeah,
walk with golden retriever, and it's like $12 plus tips. I received this $23 Sharpay dogs, and you can like walk them. And I was like, this is interesting, and I walk a dog, and it was so fun. And I'm not saying that we have. I mean, what I'm trying to say is we have to be open,
yeah,
because there are so many platforms, and not only DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber, so many that you can use to increase little by little the amount.
yeah. I think the one like Hannibal does it. Hannibal's primary app is Rover. And I
Mm.
think the difference between Rover and Wag, Rover's also for animals too, but the difference is that Rover's more of like a long-term commitment and more of a true IC thing, whereas Wag feeds you orders. Like, hey, go
Mm.
walk this dog tomorrow. So like me personally, I have a dog, that's family to me. So I'd
Mhm.
rather have somebody like Hannibal walk it than just some random off an Uber type app, like that's just me. I don't know. I guess there are people who need it, whatever, last minute. And it is what it is. I guess, I've never done WAG, so I don't know, but I'm curious how all these, are they always home? What if, are people giving you their keys? And because I gotta say, like, I always question these things, like, we're not bonded correctly. So
Well, the onboarding process is not that easy. You have to even uh, make people talk about you, invite friends and family
yeah,
to
like referrals.
referrals, they say it is like I forgot the word, but what they do is they try to create confidence with you, and the onboarding process is not that easy. I am going to give you the exact word. It is I have it here. I have my script.
Testimonial.
Yeah, something like that.
Testimonials.
So yeah. So let me concentrate. In the end, they give you. Yesterday, I made this walk, and I went to a unknown person house. I put the code. I went inside the house, but I used my camera. But I'm sure that they are recording with cameras. I don't know. So that is a friction there. That is weird to get into someone's house and take the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, you are outside walking a dog, and it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. uh, Options, different options. A Spark driver, for example, because of the situation right now with the Spark driver, that so many drivers buying accounts, and the saturated market is crazy. What's going on? I stopped doing a Spark driver from Walmart, and I stopped doing that app, using that app like for 3 months, and 3 months, 4 months ago, you just have to pick up food, orders, groceries. Now the money is in the shopping. So if you want to earn money, you have to do the shopping. That is where the money is. So the apps change. So you have to change your mindset. So I don't like to do shopping, but if you want to earn money with Spark, you have to do the shopping. So it's about open your mind or you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, plus, let's be honest, Spark's always had their own driving fleet, and they're just increasing it and increasing it and increasing it. So, I mean, Walmart Spark was a great thing. I know people who made money off it for a long time, and its honeymoon period lasted longer than most. But I mean, even as David and I were talking about last week, there's a lot of bots on Spark now too, grabbing up these orders, and it's just not. I never even got off the wait list of Spark. But to be honest, like Tony and Lisa, Tony, the Driven Dad, he's in my market here in Denver, and they tried it. And our gig market here is amazing, but some things never were that great. And I mean that Spark, even from the beginning, was never that great here. And people just doubted us like that. How can that be? But, I guess one of the biggest things I want to ask you guys about, because look, we talked about this at the GigCon and about at the town hall specifically. Legislation's coming. One of the newest ones to happen was last week that the judge ruled that Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub cannot block New York City's new wage rule for $18 an hour. $17.96 an hour, or 50 cents a minute. And here's where, so this is all Prop 22, all these are different, but I think that this one's interesting because New York City did this same thing with rideshare. It was like $27 and something. But now they're doing it for this. It didn't work for rideshare. I'm curious what you guys think of this, because I always think floor meets ceiling. These Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub are not going to make up the differences for the people that the study claimed most people doing these apps in New York City make $11 an hour. I'm thinking, dude, there's no way, because if you're doing it that much, you don't live in New York City. There's no way you could even afford to live homeless in New York City for that. So to me, I'm like, that can't be true. I know a lot of times these are like a 60-person survey, and a lot of those people might be people who just sit at home and are looking to cherry pick those great offers, and they're counting all that time as work time. But that's not work time. Work time is active time. So to me, there are people I know who earn great in New York City, $40 an hour. But this is what happened with rideshare, and I just have this feeling we're going to see that 40 become 30, 32 at best, and they're going to be making up the difference for the ones who can't hit that 1796.
What do you think about that, David? What's going on with New York? I want to hear you.
I was sort of looking it up on the side here because I know at a high level, but I don't know the details of what happened. I know, my impression was basically they tried to say that it was unconstitutional for a city to be able to set minimum wage laws targeting a specific industry, right?
Which is the same thing they did with rideshare, though. We already saw in the same city.
Yes, I think that was sort of where they were claiming. Right? And I think actually, I'd like to give you my opinion. I think all three of us, I think, agree on this, which is it goes back to sort of the theme where Steve was saying earlier, which is legislation is coming, right? Legislation is coming.
Everywhere.
Legislation has come, and it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right? And I feel like legislation is the way in which some of these problems do need to be solved. And like it or not, legislation is going to happen. So that's why I think drivers do need to mobilize to have their voices be heard. Because you can say, hey, having a minimum wage could affect some of the people who work more often than not. You could say some people believe pros or cons on minimum wage versus, other ways to sort of regulate this. But at the end of the day, I think where I go to is, make your voice heard, because this is coming to affect you. But what do you think, Louis?
New York is a war zone, in the delivery world. I live in a small town, and it's really easy to do delivery here, but not in Manhattan. In Manhattan, it's a war zone. It's weather, cars, traffic, buildings, bikes, bad actors. It's crazy. I will be scared to work there. So what I will be in a corner like,
Dude,
oh,
have you seen those bikes with like the gloves, right? Where they have like the warmer gloves
yes,
on them, mitts, because that's what you need to bike in the cold, right? I'm like, dude, that's
it
rough. Like,
is. So I'm happy for them. By the way, hello, Cody. I'm happy for them. I'm happy but what I can stop thinking about what the apps are going to do. What are they going to change? Because, for example, in California, they have the adjustment, the weekly adjustment, and the Prop 22, and what DoorDash did, for example, is they increase the base pay. So the adjustment for the delivery people, they don't see the adjustment because they increase the base pay, so they are receiving enough money, so they don't do the miles adjust. I mean, they really put the minus in the numbers, uh not in a good way for the drivers. So what I'm thinking here is what is Uber, Grubhub, DoorDash, what are they going to do to affect the drivers? Because it sounds good right now, but these companies, I mean, like you say, floor met the ceiling.
Yeah. And I that's my concern though, is if you lose the hustlers, and look, guys, I'm not saying that if you are one of the people in that survey who only makes $11 an hour, I'm not saying you're lazy. I don't know exactly what you're doing. You might be new, you might just not be. I mean, like, look, I was in the bar and restaurant industry for decades. And I can tell you not everybody's cut out for it. They're just not. I mean, that's just, and I'm not saying that's necessarily you, but I mean, that is kind of some of the way I think sometimes, because if I've had a job that I'm not crushing it at or loving and the pay's not right, I've moved on to a different job. It's not, I don't know. You can't, I mean, it's not yet insanity where it's like, what did you expect? If you keep failing day after day, what do you expect? Because yes, you can get better at it and learn some tricks and multi-app and all this. But some people might not live in the best spot to get the best order. Some people might not, it might be so oversaturated the week that you join that you're like, what is this? I'm getting nothing. It might, same area the next week might be really good to join. So there's just so many factors that, to the newbies that come in and stuff, I get a little concerned because we talked about this before, and I was going to present this to you guys today because Gig Geezer and I were talking about this. Was is the gig economy, because people are losing their jobs, we're in a recession, inflation's through the roof, and bottom line is thumbnails, video titles, all this is our creators, and it's not a bad thing, but our creators on YouTube glamorizing the gig apps. Like, do some people see our thumbnails and make 2,000 a week and they just lost their job or whatever, and they're thinking about going to get another one? Now they're like, well, wait, I can make $2,000 delivering food.
That is a good opinion. Well, in my case, my thumbnails, no,
No, and again,
I'm a little dark with my thumbnails.
yeah. And
I'm like
I'm kind of the
VC
same way. I'm
going
definitely not
down.
like boom, 10 grand or right. But
But
but it was a good, interesting point, and we talked about it. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it. Like, is it over glamorized? Because I know a lot of people do find their way on here, and maybe at a bad time in their life, they just lost their job, whatever, and now they're like, wait, and they do see these thumbnails, like a gig. We'll use the van space specifically, since it specifically shouldn't offend anybody, but Gig Geezer drives a cargo van or a Sprinter van. There are people who have videos out there that say you can be making $5,000 a week if you just spend 500 on a Sprinter van. That's a complete lie. That can't happen. You cannot get it going for that. There's just so many things like wrong with that, but I wonder if it is a little over glamorized. And what I told Geezer was people just need to make sure that with that, they're telling people, like, maybe they did make $2,000, but make sure you tell people you worked 100 hours to make that $2,000, because that will be the flip side of where they're like, well, I'm not going to work 100 hours.
Well,
just
it might
transparency.
It might
just
be, yeah. If you go to
put
TikTok,
it all out there,
you can find a bunch of people saying, I made 2,000 in 3 days and things like that. So yeah, it is something that is going on, and of course is an issue that create more drivers and it make the gig economy work more attractive. Definitely, it's something that is there for sure.
I think we may have lost Steve for a second.
We were quite, I stopped talking to because I can spend an hour talking. So I cut myself, because if I don't cut myself, I start talking, and I never stop.
So I got a question for you though. So in your community, a lot of it is sort of DoorDash and food delivery.
Yes.
Like, what are the other apps that people are interested in or asking about? So let's say DoorDash, Uber, Spark, those are obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what are people also interested in? Have you heard other things that people are talking about? Like what are you saying?
Right now, the most popular three apps.
That's Tony and I live in Denver, so that's probably part of this internet thing. So
the top three right now, the one that works with the Temu delivery, TikTok Temu, everybody is purchasing things on Temu. So the app, it's called On Track. That's the name of the app. The other one that is really popular right now is Deliverit, is catering app, the catering app. The other that I've been hearing a lot, and the other is Drop Off, is medical delivery thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never tried it. I applied to Deliverit. I haven't been able to get in. And On Track.
Wait, is there a Deliver It? Or are you talking about Delivered That or Delivered? God, there's
Delivered,
so many.
And sorry about my French, but yeah, it's
but
like,
which was it, Delivered or Delivered That?
No, it's not Delivered That. I know Delivered That is like Deliver. Let me. I have the link.
I'm going to be amazed if there's another one called Deliver It. That's just too many deliveries.
Deliver That, yeah, is one. Geekwise, hey Geekwise.
Yeah.
I have the link here. I'm going to show you the name of the. You can talk about politics right now while I'm here.
Well, David, I want to know what you think. I don't know, David, you might be a little. Oh, there we go. What you think about? Do you think it's over glamorized? Do you think if people come on here and search DoorDash, what they might see out of the box?
Delivered.
Yeah, Delivered. Okay.
Delivered. Yeah, Delivered's great. So we like Delivered. We've worked with them. They're growing really fast.
Really popular right now. And I'm going to show you the other one just and for the audience to see. This is the Temu that works with Temu, On Track.
How can they even pay you to do that? Because am I wrong? Isn't Temu the one where you can get things for like a nickel? Like,
yeah,
things are like $1. It's like the dollar store. It's like, So I mean, like, it seems like the delivery would cost more than the item.
It's scary. It's scary. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know what's the plan. But air market, but well, we'll see.
Yeah. So I have heard of On Track before. Have people had a good experience with it? Like how is that working?
No, I haven't heard a good experience. Everything that I heard about On Track is not good. But I try to get in and sign in just to try it on and to show it to the audience.
Yeah.
But the the people who show me the app, they say that it's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess part of that is that, sometimes we do that. I mean, I've done it too with apps. I'll be honest. Like, people are like, "This is the worst app," and I still on board to it just to give that firsthand, like, to agree with them, or not, but usually agree with them. Like, yeah, I got on it. It sucks. Not going to be using it.
The other one is Viho.
Yeah,
Viho.
Vio's been around. Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with Viho right now is that the bots crazy.
Yeah.
The bots
Yeah,
reach Viho,
exactly.
so it is almost impossible to. And the package delivery was shipped. That option is to do the target delivery boxes, and it's interesting, that one.
Yeah, I've been on Shipped for a long time. I've been on I was on Viho when it first started. So actually, in the very beginning, there was a Viho's honeymoon period with me in this market was about 3 months, and it was great. Then it went to complete crap almost in like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just crashed and burned. It didn't even kind of fall. And it was impossible to get ones, but the ones that there were just awful. And they started expanding them too. Like, in the beginning, it was very small areas. You'd have like 12 deliveries, but it'd be like in a 2-mile radius.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know if they lost it to other companies, because there's so many. I've told people this all the time. There's so many last mile courier apps out there. There's more courier apps than all the other apps put together. I mean, I'm not kidding. If I were to tell you guys, like, so just to give you an idea, I'm on Bungee, Runner, still on Point Pickup, even though that does nothing. Mothership, Freight, Dispatch, Amazon Flex, I'm on waiting list, Drop Off, Easy RX Deliveries, Partner, GoPuff Driver, Through Parapass, Viho, Gopher Driver, Fetch. I even signed up for Laundry Pickup, but I've never used it.
Let me show Geekwise the spelling of the app. And I want to ask David, what do you think about bots? For me, it's interesting to know your Geekwise. This is the name.
On track. It's showing us on track.
Yeah, on track with the C.
Yeah, the second way you wrote it, Gigwise.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about bots, David?
Yeah, I mean, the bots suck, right? I mean, it's actually the reason why Steve and I were talking about this is the number one asked thing we've had from people on our platform is Spark, right? So we've actually been working on a Spark integration. We nearly had it a while ago when we finally put our attention back on it, and we have a Spark integration, right? So we actually have auto decline for Spark, but auto decline isn't the problem with Spark right now, right? The problem is the bot's taking all the trips, right? So auto decline isn't that helpful because everything's taken. You have nothing to decline, right? So it doesn't really make sense. But what we found with Spark is the best thing for us to be able. What most drivers you talk to on Spark want us to do is to basically build them a bot. They are saying, hey, I don't want auto decline, I want auto accept. So if I set these parameters, can Para go and accept those trips for me? And to me, I guess the reason we've not released that is it just feels wrong to me, right? So the difference between auto accepting Spark is effectively being a bot, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a more selective bot, but because of the way that Spark works, if I build an auto acceptor for you, Louis, you're taking that trip away from somebody else.
Definitely.
That just doesn't feel right, right? It's actually something that we've built but haven't released because I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So that's how I feel about it.
This is a funny story. I have this friend who used to live here in Houston, and he decided to move to Florida. And he told me, I need you to help me to sell my car. I need you to sell the car. And I told him, listen, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to be I'm going to be there, help you, but with you on the video. I'm not going to I just need you to have the car. And when the guy comes, you just give him the car. Okay. So the guy comes and they were negotiating, and there was a moment when they uh, stopped talking for a second, and I started talking to the guy, and the guy told me, well, I'm here, I'm Hispanic, woohoo, I'm here, and I sell bots. I have the Instacart bots. Do you do delivery? And yeah, I do delivery. Well, I have the Instacart bot. You have to download another app. It's not the same app, it's a different app, and you pay me $120 per week. And look, this is the app. And he showed me the freaking app, and it was crazy. It's like the Instacart app, but it has these filters. And well, for example, I just want to take orders for $20 orders, and with these mile distances, and like it's like a filter, and grab the order. And he I mean, he doesn't he you don't have to be like in the parking lot of the grocery store. You can be like 20 miles away, but trick the app, and the app is going to think that you are there. That is what's going on. That's why people cannot have earn money with Instacart. It's crazy what's going on right now, and I don't know what apps are not doing like nothing. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, and you get tired. That's why I don't use Amazon Flex, because to have a freaking block, you have to sweat to get one, and have a bot, and wake up at 3 a.m. and it's crazy. I get tired, and if I have to work that hard, that's it worth it? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I see Carnifage actually had a comment up here which made me happier, which was even before that is like, I think Carnifage was going to do a Paraworks trip in an hour and a half, which I thought was pretty great.
Oh, wait, that must be way up.
That was a little bit further up, but I also like this. Have you tried Skip Cart? And the reason I wanted to highlight that is actually those are two of the ones that are just about to come to Parapass, actually. So Skip Cart, we're launching in a couple cities later this week. So if you're in Chicago, Austin, or DC, you'll be able to sort of skip the line with the Parapass profile, basically. So I think it's the same thing there, is give it a shot. It's 7-Eleven. Sometimes the trips are great, sometimes they're not, but the good trips I've seen are pretty good. And it goes back to what Louis was saying earlier, is just find more things in your arsenal. So Skip Cart is coming. And you'd also mentioned one earlier, Steve, which is Drop Off. So we actually launched sort of a pilot with Drop Off down in sort of southern Florida last week. And they had an interesting opportunity about sort of dropping laundry leaflets off at people's doors. And they were offering 50 cents per drop off at a door, which sounds bad, but in one neighborhood, there's 20,000 doors, and you don't even need to deliver it by car. So what we've noticed is the people who are doing it are making 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks an hour, because, every door is 50 cents. And some neighborhoods that, hit an apartment block, that's a lot of, money very quickly, basically. So I think really sort of on that vein, trying to sort of get some of these other good ones into the app.
Yeah. Bordura here is saying that,
by the way, really interesting avatar.
It's not what you think, man.
I zoomed in earlier. It's a broom in front of a wall.
Yeah.
It's a what?
It's a broom in front of a wall.
Oh, nice.
Louis, your mind's in the gutter, bro.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah.
We were doing a live stream. I had Zach on, and he put in the private chat in all caps. He goes, "What the hell is that?"
About what he's saying, he mentioned something about location, and
changing location.
Yeah, and I don't know if you read the email that Spark Driver sent. I don't know if I'm able to share screen. Let me see if I can. This is the screen. I don't know if I'm able. I
can put it up there.
And this is what they say about the location. They say that photo of yourself. Let me here, using bots, apps, or other automatic devices to accept all offers or spot your location is prohibited. We're taking steps to ensure that any driver using third-party software are deactivated from the platform. So I don't know. to me, it's better to keep safe the account. Like,
but maybe is she talking about? Is she talking about an app doing it, or is she talking about actually change? I've heard of other people using other Sparks or changing their market, kind of almost.
I think what she's talking about here is location changer. So like spoofing your location, basically.
yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, just, I mean, obviously the thing we always say, just if that's the way you're going to go, be careful. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not worth it. If you care about the app, it's not worth it. You won't go to jail for it, but it's not worth it. You could get caught. Just want to put it out there, but
by the way, and I'm trying to protect you, Bordura. I'm trying to protect you because what I heard about, for example, changing the phones, they are doing things about that. If you open your app in your Android and then you change it to the iPhone and vice versa, that is gonna be a problem. So protect your account. That is the most important thing to do.
Yeah, and don't think Walmart won't be one of the first to really come at this. I know a lot of apps just kind of sit by when these things happen, but Walmart's not gonna. Walmart's about making a profit. They always have been. These other apps have never made a profit, so guess what, guys? Walmart's gonna come after it. They're gonna get to the root of the problem, or else they'll eliminate the problem. They're not gonna screw around like some of these other apps.
So I have a question for Louis, actually. So remember when we were in Denver and I sat around the fire and you had a pseudo friend who basically was telling me that I need to translate the app into Spanish? So I actually talked to pseudo friend. It's a reference that
I was sitting right there, man.
We will all get. But we're gonna do it, basically.
Ooh, that is great. I don't know if you can hear the applauses. I don't. Do you hear the applauses?
Yeah. So I need your help though. So I need to like make sure that we hadn't built the app in a way where it auto translates, right? So we have to go in, we have to modularly change it. But you know, that's one thing I probably would love to pass by you before we do it, or pass by your community is, you know, we're gonna pay somebody to translate a bunch of the app professionally. But even then, there's going to be small changes, tweaks, phrases, you know, probably confusion even just with the word para, right?
I was going to say, that there's some words that are omitted.
Yeah.
That then won't make complete sense when.
But para in Spanish is great.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But then it might confuse the sentence. But I guess what I'm saying is we're going to do it. I promise that night we're going to do it. The team is going to start working on this, basically. And I would love to sort of pass that by you, by the community, just for feedback, because I'm sure the first time around it's not gonna be perfect, and so more feedback is always better. But I wanted, since we had you on here, to basically say that we're gonna do it, and my hope is, I think you told me that night that if we did that, it would make, one, a lot of current users happy, but two, it would get more people on the system. So
no, I'm really happy for that. What I've been trying to do is like breaking the language barrier, because there are a bunch of great drivers, but having a Spanish option is just amazing. So great. I'm waiting for that.
Yep. I told the team that we're getting on it today, so we're getting started.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that in the very beginning that was something we never even discussed.
It's just when you're.
I mean. Maybe it was just smaller thinking. It wasn't.
Yeah. No. I think it's also like when you first build an app, when we first started it, Tip Transparency went crazy and we're just doing whatever we could to get an app out. I don't think people realize this, but when we first launched Tip Transparency, it was a text service, right? So you'd enter a number and we'd text you. At the peak of Tip Transparency, it was costing like thousands of dollars a day just in text bills. Right. So there was basically you remember that? It was like literally like $8,000 a day just in like texting bills. Right. Like it was like crazy. So we were like, we just need to build an app that comes out tomorrow, and whatever shit it is, $8,000 a day has got to stop, basically.
I remember my comment to David was Man, just upgrade to the unlimited text plan.
Yeah. It was like,
I don't think the companies found that funny though.
No, it was like one day I spent like $18,000 on text bills, right? It was like the craziest thing ever, right? But then so we were just like, whatever it takes to get an app out tomorrow. So there was no thinking of like, let's make the language translatable, let's make it so that the pieces can eventually replace text, etc. It was just, we have an $18,000 fire and we need to put it out, basically, right? So, but now we're finally going to go in and do the painful thing because, we want to serve the community. So
That is great. That is great. And that is why events like the Geekfest that we're going to do next year is important, because the Hispanic community is not connected to some. They don't have an idea about the Kirby board, the GeekCon, none of these events. So that's why we have to connect Para and different companies with them. So it is. I hope to see you in May, and we're gonna keep talking for sure.
I mean, it'll be my birthday, and I'll be there. So
Nice. I'll prepare.
I'll find my way to make it down there too. I've told Tom with the TNC radio, he's out of Houston too, that I will get there. I will get there. I've never got there. It's David's birthday. It's the event. So I guess let's can we kind of end with that? Can you tell us a little more about the event? Like, how will it differ from Gig Con? And this is a primary question. It's clearly a lot of the community will speak Spanish. Does a lot of your community bilingual?
No, they basically, well, the companies that you're gonna find there, mostly they are companies that work in English. But what we are trying to do is connect them with the Hispanic community. So mostly my community is mostly Hispanics, of course. So you're gonna find a bunch of Hispanic, but it's not only for Hispanic. I mean, if Uber or Para or any company is gonna be there, and you are a non-Hispanic speaking driver, you have to go, because these companies are going to be there and going to give you information that you're going to need.
We'll just find a couple people that can translate for us too.
For sure.
If we're going to be sitting at a para booth, we'll just get a translator.
What I don't want to have there, I love Kirby board. In fact, Kirby board, the driven that was saying that I was a scapegoat. Maybe, but I got to meet the Spark driver team in the Kirby board, and they give me information, and that's why these events are important, because you get to connect with those type of
I think he was talking about your pseudo friend.
You
were the scapegoat of him.
Yeah, that was night.
Because Tony was there too. That's the
sorry,
he was there too. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of people going, why won't you guys just tell us the story? Look, the bottom line of the story, and I won't.
The bottom line of the story was you should have been there. Come to the next.
Yeah,
one.
But no, we were just all having a lot of fun, having some drinks, and it was late. That's the end. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, you can come in May, and we are going to tell you the story. So the difference here, and I'm going to be in Kirby this year. Of course, I'm going to be there. The difference, when I went to the Kirby board, what I found was little robots and little self-driving, and I was like, "This is the enemy."
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I don't want that for this event. What I want is companies that can help drivers, even banks, and companies and realtors that can show you as a gig driver how can you reach the goal to have a home, or maybe technologies, Para app. And we're talking with Uber right now with the marketing to see if they can put some customer support people there. So if you have a problem, you've been deactivated, why don't you have an option to go to the event and do something about it? And that is what we are trying to do, to have an event that can really work for you, and you can have something valuable from this event.
Yeah, and I think if you think about Curvivore, it brought together a bunch of interesting companies, interesting people, interesting representatives, but the core theme was sort of like the curb and delivery and robots. But what they did really well was, I think, Louis, you were there, I were there. We met a bunch of interesting people from a bunch of different places. Like, if you can do the same thing, but with the driver as the center, wow, it's going to be great.
Of course. And let me tell you, I am going back to Curbivore. I think it's an amazing event and I loved it. And I'm going back.
Yeah, it's actually this year. It's on Sergio's birthday. I'm going to go too because the 2 days before it, or the 3 days before it, it's on a Friday, but the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is Podcast Movement in LA. So, right. And then Sergio's birthday, the Sergio, when I told Sergio the date, and he's like, "Why do you know?" And I don't, but I told him, and he's like, "That's my birthday." It's like the March 28th, whatever the Friday is or whatever.
I can't wait to see birthday Sergio. It's going to
be fun. Yeah, you guys, Sergio is awesome all the time, but in person, he's awesome. He's a lot of fun. But yeah, I guess
I'd love to come support myself. Pero would love to come support this event, so I'm super excited for that event. So
I'm excited too.
And I think that really should be the deliver. It's all of the like I was saying, this is the time of entry. All those should be there. It's the giants that don't belong. But everything else belongs there. Show your name, show your face, even to people who work in different markets and whatnot. I think the main thing with Curbivore is Harry getting the word out to drivers. He needs to collect more than California drivers. Whether it be creators or whatnot, he needs to really sell them to get there, because then they can get back to their markets and push for things. But yeah, you guys were mentioning the robots. I have to say that the Uber Eats robots, that they use Starship Technologies. There's articles out this week that they've been sharing video that they shoot on the street with the LAPD. And I'm actually very concerned by that, because that's a big brother move that Uber should not be involved in, nor should Starship, because there's no, it's like, it would be like me live streaming a rideshare ride, and if I got license plates on it, I'm in trouble. Well, that's the same thing, because it's not a license plate, but you might be getting my face on a camera. So I don't know. I mean, I know there's things out there trying to help with like Orange Alert, or what, when a kid goes missing, those kind of things to try and track somebody down. But this seems a little too far. We already have issues with these things. And I mean, to be honest, they're expensive. They're way too expensive in my opinion too. But they're expensive, and they don't really work well. I don't know. I mean, they, look, let me just, hopefully this is a good one. Let me just show you guys a second of how these things are treated.
Oh man, look at, somebody knocked him over. Who is it? It's Austin. Austin got robbed. What happened to you, Austin? Yeah, you better say thank you. This is the second time I've saved you, Austin. Oh, somebody's getting fired. You are such a fuck up. The robot is stuck in the middle of the street. They gotta go around the robot. Uber, come get your boy.
So that's technology, people. That's what's going to replace you delivery drivers.
But they learn, trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, but it is scary to me that not one weird paper, but a lot of papers, a lot of articles out this week about LAPD getting bot footage from these. That's scary. That doesn't seem very legal. I didn't click a box to agree to that. So I'm just saying, it just doesn't seem right.
I know when we were at Curbivore, they had a delivery robot versus delivery robot race. So what I'm hearing at Louis' event is that we're going to have a human versus robot race.
Oh, that sounds good. That is a good idea.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
we had a little
delivery robot race, and let's see.
We had a little hashtag that was no tip robot trip. You know,
I like that.
Yeah.
So that,
by the way, about this is a delivery issue, right? But what happened with the self-driving cars? I've been watching this footage of cars in San Francisco, like closing the street is crazy. What are your thoughts about those situations?
they hype it way more than it is. Even the people in the companies, I've talked to them, they say we hype it way more than it is. It's not anywhere near.
People don't know that I worked at a company in that space doing sort of like algorithms for autonomous cars, like back in like 2017 for like 2 years. It was like a startup. Put dash cameras in cars, forward collision warning, but it was actually collecting data to like train algorithms. Back in 2017, that was when like it was like peak of the hype, right? And everyone's like, self-driving cars are going to be here in 2020. All these companies are saying by the Tokyo Olympics 2020, 2021, full autonomous is going to be there, and everybody was saying that, right? And if you look now, we're so far away from that. It's just, and I remember at the time all the business people like me were saying that, and all the engineers were just like grabbing their heads being like, there's just no way. I think you guys just don't understand. There's no way we're going to do this in the next 3 years, right? I do think with the breakthroughs in current AI, we are going to see another jump, right? So I'm not sort of a technology pessimist.
Of course.
There's going to be
I'm just a timeline pessimist.
Yes. I just think these things are further and farther away than you think, basically. Yeah. And the best case for these technologies is still more of a train style, highway style thing, right? For now. So I think it's this idea of it's going to replace all of us. One day it will. Today is not the day. Tomorrow's not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked to engineers at Alto. I mean, one, and he was saying, look, he said, first of all, we've heard this before too. It basically has to be an all or nothing thing. You can't have human drivers, and it's literally going to have to move to something or have separate roads and separate lanes on highways. They can't, because the insurances will never line up. Plus all the issues, snow stops them. The LiDARs don't work. In San Francisco, or in California, the governor put them in the city of San Francisco, Waymo and Cruise. But now the mayor of San Francisco, the fire department, the fire chief, the police chief, the police department, they all want them out now. They're nothing but problems. They're causing accidents. They're causing more accidents than humans, which a couple months ago used to be debated when they were starting. They caused less, but now it's clearly more. We saw one have to be, they've moved a lot, but we saw one had to be plowed by a fire truck because for whatever reason, they block fire trucks a lot. I don't know why. The same kind of thing that if I did, I'd get a ticket for.
I just remember I used to work with this guy, a very, very smart guy, one of the smartest people I've ever met. He got like, this is the sort of guy who he was getting a PhD in physics. And while he was doing that, he got 3 master's degrees for fun while getting his PhD.
Oh,
like as one casually does, is like electrical engineering, math, physics, and mechanical engineering,
fun things.
Fun things all 4 at the same time. But I remember he used to look at us during that autonomous car hype, and he's like, you freaking business people. He's like, you guys act like you've discovered a new law of physics, right? He goes, the only way we're going to be able to do what you are claiming is if you are Isaac Newton. Have you discovered a new law of physics? I don't know, right? He used to say that to us all the time. And every time people talk about this, I just think of him every time.
The other problem is that people, look, David, you were talking about how, they said 2021. Look, when I started the website, which, was it was 2017. When I started that website, I was posting articles about VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing vehicles that were just going to pop around the rooftops of San Francisco. Like, yeah, no problem. We'll just accommodate every rooftop to do this. Okay. That was going to happen by 2022, 100%. They were shooting for 2021. In 2022, they had Uber helicopter. They just put Uber on a helicopter and said, we can do this. And it was like, well, helicopters have been around forever. And then if you guys know Dark Road Run, Joe, great guy. He sent me, he's a big video and photography guy. And he sent me video of a 1950s commercial, black and white, that said, why would you buy a car? We're going to have flying cars. No joke. In the 1950s, it was like 1958 black and white TV. And they're talking about flying cars. We're making it sound like finally it's here. It's not. Again, guys, do you know what the FAA, we talked about it one time, they've allowed one company to test in like an 8-mile area starting in 2025. Test. If we're just in an 8-mile area that people don't live in to test in 2025, this thing ain't starting anytime soon. Potentially not even this century. I mean,
and it's the same for the drones.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the drones, same type thing. I mean, like, where is the drone technology? We knew about the 3 California cities that were allowing it, but where's the data on it? Is it working, or is it way expensive? Because I know those drones take a beating too. So those are not cheap drones, those ones that can deliver.
Actually, I feel like the autonomous car stuff is going to be more for medium distance things. I do think drones for deliveries are much more likely than any of those robots. Right. Yeah. I mean, drone, right? Like,
I need that button.
I feel like we're learning some here today.
But yeah, I don't know. As far as autonomous, I'm not worried about it taking jobs from people. That's not a fear of mine. And I follow it pretty closely too. If anything, it's more of a joke, but I feel like they put it out there because if they don't, another company will. And then in 8 years, when it does come around on some level, they'll be able to say, see, we've been doing it since 2020. But really, nobody's doing it. You know, they want to stay in, and it keeps them in the press. It gets them a press plug every time if Uber puts out an article about an autonomous car update, they are in every newspaper in the country that day in the tech section. So it's like all they got to do is open their mouth about it, and there you go. But I mean, even other countries, we're just not there. We're just not there. So guys, I mentioned this before. I think that's a wrap for tonight, not for the week, because David and I said last week that we will start doing the Para Lives on Thursday. So Thursday we will be doing a Para Live. We have a guest. It will be the same time the premieres have always happened. So this would have premiered then, but we'll put this up first. But 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. And then on Friday on the audio podcast, you can find it as well. But yeah, join us. We got Dashing Trader this week. We're going to be talking about kind of like his whole story and the different levels he's been through and where he's at now, because it's a new place he's at now. But some of the things along the way. And, you know, a lot of other things too. But we've got a lot coming up, but this week we do have that second one. I want to thank, obviously, Louis for joining us. And if you haven't checked out his channel, I know a lot of people in the chat have wrenches. So if somebody could drop his channel in there, but if you're not, you can find it in the show notes.
I can show you how to do delivery naked. Whoa!
Wait, really?
Yeah, just kidding. This is just for subscribers. Only for subscribers.
His YouTube channel wouldn't be up anymore if he was doing that. Pretty sure it's a violation. I don't know. Maybe it's not these days. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't checked out his channel, check out his channel. Especially even if you're bilingual. I mean, I know a lot of bilingual people who watch our channels, but are you watching Louis? Should be.
Come on, I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah. So, again, a very big channel out there, you guys. So anyway, until Thursday, and please join us here live, because when we do these lives, we were doing them as premieres, like I said, and it was making the questions a little more difficult because people were wondering why the questions had already been going through. So we will be live. Bring your questions, especially when we're talking about Parapass and stuff, because a lot of times we answer a question that many people are looking for the answer for. So it's like an FAQ. But that said, thank you, Louis. Thank you, David. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I know this was a random day, a random time. So be safe, earn smart, and we'll see you Thursday.
For sure. For sure.
Peace, y'all. Good night.
Bye, friends.